Alright, today we will be doing a video. I'm gonna just, okay, 18 plus, there's gonna be cussing, violence, more of a, yeah, that's it, really. And this is what if Izuku, and, what if Inko and Hiyashi died? And what if Inko and Hiyashi died? So he goes as Izuku.
What? Yes.
Izuku is let me see. He's 11 years old, and in this, what if your quirk manifests through your 11 to 16, and if your quirk manifests, the higher age you are, your quirk manifests, that's the higher your quirk is gonna be. But nobody's quirk really has manifested at 16. It's like a 0.1% chance in the or it's like, no, it's 1 out of 100 million for your quirk to manifest at 16. And everybody thinks that, oh yeah, that's gonna be me when they don't have a quirk. But most likely if you don't have a quirk at 11 or 11 through 14, then you're not getting a quirk. Most likely, though. So we get to Izuku. He's 11 years old, walking to the quirk doctor, or driving to the quirk doctor with his mom and his dad. I'm gonna say his mom is the number 3 hero. Her name is Telepathy. Fuck no, that's a lame ass name. It don't really matter what her name is, cause she's not gonna be a big plot in this. She is, but let me get to the story. So she says, "Are you ready to get your quirk, Izuku?" As Izuku says, "Yeah, mom," and his dad says, "I already can tell my little boy's gonna be the strongest in the world." As Izuku chuckles and says, "Yeah, thanks, Dad." And he says, "But Dad, what if I'm quirkless?" And they say, "We'll still love you. We'll still love you the same. It's just you'll be treated differently around this world." And they say, "Oh, okay." He says, "Okay." And yeah. So yeah. Basically though, Izuku basically says, let's see what he says. He says, "Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad." And they walk out. 45 minutes later, they get there. Or 2 minutes later, they're pulling up. And they get the quirk doctor. They go inside. And then we do a time skip of an hour and 15 minutes. And they say, an hour and 7 minutes. And they just find out that Izuku's quirkless. And they're walking at the quirk doctor. And Izuku says, "Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad." And he says under his breath. And whatchamacallit, he goes and says, "What was that, honey?" And you say something. And she says, "No." He says, "No." And basically, they get home, and Izuku is expecting them to beat him or torture him or something, disown him. But they hug him and say, "Let's watch a movie, okay, Izuku?" And he says, "Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad." And she cries and he hugs them. And they just yeah, they just watched the movie. I should say. I'm not gonna say what they watched because it really doesn't matter. But yeah. But Izuku, he's asleep, and he says, "Hey, honey, um, oh yeah, and in this Inko, oh yeah, let me just keep talking. He says, hey, honey, he says, hey, honey, what do you think is gonna happen to him at school?" And he says, trust me, I've seen his friends. They're not gonna bully him. They're true friends. I know Bakugo's not gonna bully him. He's probably gonna tease him, but not enough to make Izuku. You know what? And and um and um and he says in Izuku, no, Hiyashi, that's the nigga name. Hiyashi says thanks. But honey, what if he does get himself pushed too far to that point where he wants to, kill himself? And she holds him tighter. She holds him tight and says, don't say that. Don't say that, Hiyashi. You shouldn't be thinking about that. And he says, yeah, sorry. As he cuddles her, and they all fall asleep on the couch. Don't ask me how. Oh yeah, it's like a couch where it's two parts to it. It's like a long couch, and then, or it's like a L. Yeah, it's like a L couch. Yeah, and Izuku is on the bottom part of the L. So yeah. So he's on the short part, I should say. He's on the short part of the L. So yeah, Izuku says, or no, we do a time skip. We don't do a time skip. Actually, yes, we do. It's not a really long time skip. It's just a time skip where Izuku goes into his room, right? Or he's at school, and two figures approach Izuku, and these are two figures approach Izuku, and here's the loudmouth ass voice saying, because he's looking down on his phone, and here's two voices saying, "Kid, you gotta know what time it is. Pay up before I hit you." And he says, "Okay," as he gives them $30, which is just lunch money, and he says, "Oh hell yeah, you broke a lot today, nerd. Good job," as he punches him in the shoulder and walks off. And Izuku's he like moves a little bit back. He like backs up a little bit, and you see another person walk up to him. This person is Mineta. He's not a midget in this one. He's about the height Izuku was, and Izuku and him are the same height. And yeah, so yeah, and so Izuku, I'm gonna say Izuku's like 5. He's 5'5", or no, he's 5'9". He's 5'9", and Mineta is 5'8.5". So yeah, we hear Mineta walk up to him and say, "Hey, that's not yours. Give it back." And I'm gonna say Mineta is the strongest person in the school, but he's like John from Unordinary. Well, yeah, Unordinary, but he's not that fucking brutal and shit. He's like just the strongest person in the school. And yeah. So he says, give it back, that's not yours, Katsuki and Todoroki. And Katsuki turns around towards Todoroki. And Izuku says, I mean not Izuku. Yeah, Izuku says, what are you doing? You're gonna lose your thing. And he says, yeah, I stick up for you all the time. But whatever. And Todoroki, no, Bakugo says, what the hell did you just say to me? And he says, watch who you're talking to. And Todoroki says, don't worry, Bakugo, I'll end him quickly. As he shoots an ice attack, and then slowly after that, 2 fireballs on the side. And Mineta says, ice attack. I can get away from the fire easily, but the ice is gonna be a problem. As he says, maybe I can. Fuck, what did I do? It's getting closer. As Izuku jumps in front of it, and he gets hit, and Mineta does the 2 fireballs, and he goes to Izuku to see him on the floor, with a bruised, he sees him on the floor, and he's shivering. That nigga cold as hell. So he says, damn it. And he says, damn it. And yeah. Also Izuku. He says, he gets up, and he says, it's alright, Mineta. As he pukes, because he just got hit in the stomach hard. And he pukes, and we do a 2-minute time skip, and Bakugo and Katsuki on the floor. I'm gonna say his Mineta's wind stuff is like Susanoo. He can like make wind armor and stuff like that. So yeah. And sorry if you heard a loud ass voice in the background. This I haven't been making videos. So yeah. But yeah, Izuku throws up and do a 15-minute. Or they were on the ground. They would do another 15-minute time skip, and Izuku and Mineta, I would say they're kind of like best friends, but they're not. Actually, yeah, they are. Their relationship is like Mineta's. Well, no. Actually, they're friends, but they're not best friends. So Izuku says, thanks, Mineta. As he fist bumps and says, no problem, Izuku. And he says, but if you keep doing that, you're gonna lose your fame. And he says, you're gonna be just like me. You're gonna get bullied every day. And he says, listen, kid. And Izuku says, I'm taller than you, and we're the same age. I'm not a kid. He says, listen, I'm the strongest in this school, and you're my friend, so I'm gonna do it all I have to protect you. And Izuku, he hugs him into stinks, man. And he says, no problem. As we hear a bell ring, or a loud ring, and Izuku says, damn it, we're gonna be late for class. As they run to class, and Mineta walks in first, and slowly after Izuku. Mineta, the teacher says, oh, Mineta, you're here, great. You can go take your seat. And he says, I thought I was late. He says, no, you are the number one hero. You are gonna be the next number one hero after all. So we can't have any bad things on your record. As he says, thanks, I guess. And Izuku walks in after him and teaches, oi, go get your ass a tardy pass or a tardy slip. But he says, but Mineta was late too. He said, did you not hear what the hell I said? Go get a tardy slip. And he says, yes, sir. He says, yes, sensei. As he goes to get him a tardy slip. And basically Izuku, let's see, he wished me comments. He goes to get him a 30 pass, come back, and he goes back to his seat, I should say. So yeah, Izuku says that, here you go, teacher. As he snatches from your hand and says, go sit somewhere. And he says, matter of fact, just sit on the floor like the useless trash you are. Everybody starts laughing at him. And he looks down, and everybody besides Mineta. And he says, damn it, I fucking hate this class. As he runs out the room, and he like busts through the door. And yeah. So he busts through the door. He goes out the room, and yeah, and he's running home, and all of a sudden sees yellow tape around his house. He goes there and sees 2 body bags. Izuku sorry about that. He runs under the thing, the yellow tape, and he unzips both of the body bags to see his mom and to see his dad dead. Izuku falls back on his ass, and he says, what? As he says, what? Police officer says, kid, what are you doing here? He says, I live here. And he says, I'm sorry for your loss, kid. They're both dead. And he says, yeah, okay. And Izuku says, the police officer says, do you have any type of relatives? And he says, no. And he says, I guess we'll put you in foster care, kid. And yeah. So yeah. So I'm gonna say 2 days later, he's now in foster care. And also, we see like at least a 30-year-old lady walk in there, and she says, oh, hi, I'm just looking for I'm just looking for somebody to adopt. And they say, yeah, just go back here and choose, and then whatchamacallit, we'll tell you we'll tell you who you can. We'll tell you the people that the 3-year-old and stuff like that. So they go over there and show her around, and she says, I want to adopt him. The boy with the dark green hair, and oh yeah, and his hair, he got emotional and he got depressed because his mom and dad died, the only people that cared for him besides Mineta. And he wasn't thinking about Mineta right there. He got depressed and emotionless. And he says, I want that boy. As he's 16 years old. And he says, but he's 16. And he says, I know, that's why I want him. And she says, okay, why do you want him? And she says, because my daughters, they need them, they need somebody to be with. And she says, oh, miss, I don't, she says that he just lost his mom and his dad, and plus he's quirkless. And she says, oh, I'll still take him. And she says, ma'am, if you want to use him as a sex toy, I can allow that. And he says, no, whoever said I was going to use him as like that, I just need him to substitute and protect my daughters from these vicious men. And he says, oh sorry. And he says, the 3-year-old woman says, no, it's fine. As Izuku, Izuku says, I hear them, they're talking about me. As 2 minutes later, the foster care lady walks up to him and says, hey Izuku, today you're getting picked. You're leaving. And he says, thanks. And he says, okay, when? And he says, today, right now. Go pack your bag. And he says, I don't have any bags. As he just gets his picture of his mom. And that's all he really has. And Izuku says, so what are we gonna do? Or where are we gonna go, miss? As he just got in he's got in the car with the lady that was gonna adopt him. And she says, I'm gonna use you for vicious things. A lot of vicious things. Izuku says, okay. And she says, no, I'm joking. I need you to protect my daughters from these vicious men. I don't want them getting touched or raped. And he says, alright. And she's looking down. And he said, Izuku doesn't say anything. And I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna say that he arrives and he has his hood on. And, when he gets to their house, he walks through the door and they say, Mom, who was that? As he says, well, you know that how that last bodyguard used to touch on you guys. And they're like, yeah. Is he gonna do the same thing? And he says, no, this is your new brother. As he says, no, I'm talking. This is your new brother. And Izuku says, he doesn't say anything. He just says, excuse me, Miss Lady, where am I going to sleep? And she said, the first room. She says, take a left. There's the first room on the left. And she says, alright, because she lives in a mansion, I'm gonna say. And, but yeah, and he goes to her instructions. And put this picture on the dresser. And he says, "Hey mom, hey dad, I miss you guys a lot." And basically, Izuku, he says, oh yeah, and he's black. I'm not sure, or this is the reminder, Izuku, he's black. Okay, I'm gonna keep saying that so I don't forget. Or I'm gonna just keep repeating that in my head. But yeah, he says, "Damn it, I miss you guys." And he says, he calls them out. He says, "I shouldn't be cursing. They wouldn't want me to be doing that." As whatchamacallit, here's a faint knock on his door. And he goes to his door. He says, "What is it?" As that girl, his room just felt crowded with at least 4 to 5 girls, or 5 through 8 girls. 8 girls, I'm gonna say. And they say, "Hey, no peeping, okay?" He says, "Yeah, whatever." As he gets on his bed and just hides under his cover. And one of the girls says, "Hey, I knew you, my sister talking to you." He says, "I know, I heard her." As she says, he said, "I got no peeping." And then I'm not the pervy type, so my mom wouldn't want me to do that. As he says, the girl say, "Wait, you're not seriously already calling our mother your mom already, right?" And he says, "No." And the girls say, "Izuku, then who the hell are you talking about?" As he says, "No one. It's not like you care anyway." As he walks, he barges through them, walks, and he's about to walk out the room until one of the girls grabs his hand and says, "What the hell were you gonna say? What the hell were you about to say?" And Izuku says, "Nothing. You wouldn't care, and it doesn't concern you. So let go of my fucking hand before I backhand you." And the girl says, "Oh, stop being so." He says, "A quirkless loser like you could backhand me." I think that is, let's see, that's not gonna happen. And she holds him, and he says, "Girl, send me that picture." And Izuku says, "Don't touch it." As he tries to rush over to it, and then one of the girls grab his other arm, says, "Go get that picture, guys." As they go get the picture, and they say, "Who's this slut in this picture?" And Izuku looks down, and he says, "Don't call her that." And he says, "Wait a minute, this isn't your whore of a mom, is it?" And he says, "My mom wasn't a whore." "Don't say that." As his voice gets deeper, and they're all like scared a little bit, and they all look scared a little bit, and one of the girls says, "Go ahead and put it in the shredder. We don't need that." And Izuku says, "If you do that, I'll kill you." And he says that in a super deep, devilish tone. As they see, Izuku looks up with bloodshot, pupils, I'm pretty sure. Or you see in this picture, that's how his eyes are. He looks up like that, and with those eyes, and he says, "I told you, don't as he body flickers in front of one of the girls, and he snatches the picture out of his hand. He's about to hit him, and then he says, "You're not worth my time. Get the hell out." And they all get out, scared. And Izuku says, "What the hell was that?" And he says, "Was that my quirk?" As he says, "Oh fuck." He says, "Was that my quirk?" And then one of the and then after he says, "Was that my quirk?" Wait a minute. So he says, "Was that my quirk?" And he says, "No way. That couldn't have been my quirk." As maybe it was. That means to have a quirk." As he gets excited, and he says, yes. As he hears a knock on his door, and he says, he opens the door to his so-called, or not his so-called, but his adoptive mom there, and screamed, or not screaming, but saying, "What the hell did you do to my daughters? I told you, that I wanted to not to touch them and not to rape them. Oh, what did you do?" And he says, he covers her mouth, and he brings her inside, and he says, "Actually, that's not what happened." And she's surprised, and she's blushing that Izuku's being so rough. And yeah, so pulls him inside and says, "That's not what happened. They tried to rip my mom to pieces." As he says, "It's the only picture I have of her, and they tried to destroy it." As Izuku's voice starts getting deeper, and he says, "They tried to destroy it." As his hair grows darker into another color, I should say. And he says, "I didn't do anything to your daughters. They just came in here fucking with everyone, trying to ruin my life even worse. So please, before you go assuming, find out what really happened." As she says, "Sorry, Izuku." And he says, "Yeah, whatever." And she walks out, and basically, damn it, sorry for your some in the background. But yeah, basically, Izuku basically says, basically he says that he that he's sorry. He says, he gets down on his knees, and he says, "Sorry, Mom." And he's talking to Inka. He says, "Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad, that I resorted to violence too quickly." And he says, "From now on, I promise I'll never hurt anyone ever again unless I have to." And he says, "I promise you guys." And I promise you guys. Basically, Izuku basically says, Izuku basically, he walks out his room, and I'm gonna say, he says, "Hey, this is my friend," as the old man, old voluptuous man who likes to prey on little girls. And Izuku says, Izuku says he looks suspicious. Why the hell is he looking at her like that? As he says, "Hey, where's your restroom?" And he says, "Over there." It's by my daughter's room, the first room to the right. And he says, "Okay." As he walks through the hallway and goes to his daughter and goes to his he goes to his friend's daughter room, and he goes to the restroom and he sees his daughter, one of the daughters in there, and he says, "It's a perfect time." As he walks, he barges in the restroom and pins around the wall, and Izuku says, "Oh hell no!" So Izuku walks in there, and it's the short get to him, and he says, "Don't you think this is a little inappropriate, sir?" And he says, "No, you're not, sir. You're scum. Don't you think that's a little inappropriate, scum?" As his voice gets deeper, and Izuku looks up with bloodshot eyes, and he says, he walks towards him closely, and Izuku, he's moved so fast that the guy tries to hit them with his I'm gonna say his metal fist quirk. Yeah, he has a metal fist quirk, or metal. He can make like metal body quirk. So yeah, he hits him with his metal. He tries to hit him with his metal body, and then all of a sudden, a lot of fucking flashpoints pop up, and Izuku, he says, "What the hell? How are there multiple of you?" As Izuku doesn't know what the hell this is. He just like, Izuku just says, that Izuku basically says that, I call them flashpoints. I don't know what the hell he's talking about though. And the girl screams, and he says one of the flashpoints, get her out of there. And the old man, he's backing up against the wall, and he sees a lot of flashpoints of Izuku. He sees more and more and more, and all of a sudden the whole room is filled with them. So there's like 10 of Izuku's flashpoint in the restroom, and there's only one of this old man. This old man says, "Come at me. I'll beat your ass, kid." Izuku, he goes to him, and his hand is vibrating, and as his hand, he's about to strike him down. As he's about to strike him down, a big bang comes to the door, and this bang is his mom. His mom says, "What the hell is going on?" As Izuku's about to put his hand in this man's heart and destroy it to pieces, and Izuku is gonna die today, old man. As the old man says, "I came in here and I found this brat trying to rape your daughter." As Izuku says, we're gonna lie like that, huh?" As his flashbangs disappear, and he stops moving, and he looks up at the old man, and looks straight in his eyes, and he says, "You're really gonna lie like that, huh?" As Izuku right hand vibrates even faster, and he says, "Of course it was me." And he says, "You are quirkless. Of course it would be you." And he says, Of course, the quirkless person is always the one who is preyed upon. As his voice gets deep, he says, it's always the weak in this world. The weak are at the bottom of the food chain. And the weak are always getting blamed for something that the higher people did. It's not fair to the weak that we get blamed and pushed around. And in this video, or in this one, basically Izuku's mom walks up to him and she tries to touch him, his vibrates through. She tries to touch him and she just goes through his body. And Izuku stops, grabs her hand, and he makes a flash point and he makes sure he gets her out of there. I should say. And Izuku looks up and the mom tries to run back to the whatchamacallit, to the scene in the restroom. And the girl, yeah, he runs to one of the daughters, and she runs to one of the daughters at the end of trying to get to the restroom to see what was going to happen to her best friend or her friend. And, Izuku says, with the joy and the death in my heart, I shall strike you down. As he sticks his hand through this man's heart, and when he sticks his hand through this man's heart, basically Izuku, he says, let's see. Izuku basically says, Izuku says, he says, that he says that he says that today you will meet your end. I think he killed the man. Yeah, he killed the man, and then they hear a loud thump on the ground, and he gets the man's body and he drags him. There's no blood or anything. He's just dead. Now Izuku says, he's dragging the man, and he says, "There's your rapist," and she throws him, and he slides the lifeless body of an old, clumsy, or of an old, pervy man. And the girl said, "Mom, he's not lying." And the girls ran up and hung him. And or let me introduce him and stop saying one of these girls. So this is one of them. In a minute. This is one of them. This one goes up and hugs him, right? And I don't know their names. I'm just gonna give a random name. Her name is Madison. Yeah, Madison. Yeah. Her name is Madison. And we hear 3 more girls rushing to her room, where all the other girls look at him, and the other girls are this one. Her name is Maddie. Her name is Madison. Her name is Elizabeth. Her name is I don't want to include her because she looks just like Izuku. But it is what it is. Just say she has black hair like the rest of them, or whitish hair. So yeah. So basically, this one name is Bree. Fuck. I don't know. I don't know her name, but these two are twin. No. Okay, that's a good picture. I'm gonna say her name. Her name is hold on. Her name is Emily, and these two names. Well, no, the one on the left name is Eva, and the one on the right name is Mia. This one is Amelia, right? And this one is, let's see, and this one is Sophia. So we got Sophia and all the other ones. So Izuku, he becomes slow again, and he starts walking to his room and one of the girl, or what's her name? I'll give them new names anyway, because I'm gonna forget. But yeah, I forgot her name already. It's too many fucking names to keep up with. You know what? I'm gonna just say it's two daughters instead of fucking 8. Because I'm not gonna be able to keep up with that shit. So her name is Sophia, and her name is Mia. No, Sophia, right? Then you got Mia. Then you got Madison. Then you got Addison. So Addison, Madison, and Sophia. Alright. This is Addison. This is Madison. This is Sophia. So we get back to Izuku and comes up to where Sophia runs up and hugs him and says, "Thanks, brother. I'm sorry for what I did before." And he says, "Yeah, it doesn't matter." As he walks off back into his room, and they call the cops to come get this guy. And yeah, so basically when they call the cops to come get this guy, Izuku says, oh, man, I have to find out. He says, my God, it's like some type of super speed. As he says, yeah, super speed. I went back in time multiple times to create those people, of those images of myself. And basically Izuku basically says, he says that at least I'm doing a good job protecting her girls. And the woman goes, knocks on the door. Wait, the mom. I need to get a picture for the mama. My bad. As the mom walks up to him and says, the mom walks up to him and says, thanks for this, Izuku. And he says, no, I'm just doing my job, miss. That's why he faked you out and then she says, that's why he says, I'm just doing my job, miss. Also, would you like to, or he says, I'm just doing my job, miss. And she says, no, really, thank you. says no, Emily. Thank you. And he says, no problem. As I got the names. Emily, Sophia, and Addison. Okay. As Emily walks up to him and Emily walks up to him as the mom leaves the room and says, I don't know what to say, but thanks. And he says, no, please stop thanking me. It's nothing. As Emily, so this is Emily, right? Yeah, Emily says, she says, Emily says, Izuku says, stop it. It's not, he says, stop it. It's not, he says, there's nothing really. And she says, no, thank you. And Izuku says, how'd you get that scar on your face? He says, oh, I was protecting myself from a perverted man. And he says, man, this family really has to do with perverted people a lot. And she says, yeah, we're just victims for old, disgusting men. And he says, don't worry, sis, I'll protect you. As he blushes a little bit, because as he says, don't worry, sis, I'll protect you. He touched her head. And, basically, after he touched his head, you know, she said she blushes, and he hugs her, says, don't worry, I'll protect all of you guys, even your mom. And, basically, Izuku, the mom says, come here, says, Izuku, fuck, I forgot the name again. I think it was Sophia. I'm not gonna make these names fun. An easy name. Mia, Sophia, Emily. Alright? So, Mia. And this is Mia again. Because I keep forgetting their name. Mia walks up with her mom. Their mom doesn't need a name. Their mom called them and says, hey guys, I'm going to be out for a little bit, okay? And she said, I'm going to be gone for about maybe a year or two.